goddammit, Maverick.
No offense, David Jaffe, but that's bullshit.
Well. Welcome, my good, delightful delinquents, to what's this show called? What are we doing? I swallow my gum. To the Gabbin' and the Games, fellas, Filettis. Good to see everybody. Good to have you here today. I appreciate you being here. Welcome to the show. You look like the guy in the Black Hole Sun video, says Cosmic. I know what that is. You know, I know what that is, but it is what I don't fucking know. Oh my God, you guys, there are days, man. There are days. I'm serious. It gives me great admiration. It gives me great admiration for the folks that like go on stage every night or 5 times, 8 times a week on Broadway or anywhere really and do the same shit. And I don't even do the same shit. I do different stuff every day, but there are days where you're just kind of like, I don't have a lot of energy. And they just got to bring it. And that's something. It's like, yeah, Jaffe, it's called a job. Shut up, man.
Pornography destroyed my life.
Hello, Andy May. Welcome to the show, fellas. Welcome to Gabbin' and Games for October 24th. Tonight, I know some people in New Zealand are already enjoying the Call of Duty, but tonight we have Call of Duty launches at 9 o'clock California time. I am very excited for that. I enjoyed the betas for Black Ops. I've always enjoyed the campaigns of Calls of Duties. So I will absolutely be playing that video game. We'll be talking a little bit about that today, but that's not all we're going to be talking about. Lunch with Jaffe is coming up later today, but it's not here. Lunch with Jaffe will be over on the Discord for Cult Calypso members and God of War members, and of course the mods. And that will go up. In fact, I'll just show it to you so you guys know what we're talking about. That will go up for all members at those tiers almost immediately after here on the show. And then Monday it'll go up for all members. It'll always stay behind the paywall, but it'll be up for all member tiers to watch after the fact. So Da Vinci's Demon says there's already hackers on Black Ops 6. Oh yeah. I mean, of course. Bukaki says, I'm driving up to Tahoe right now. Don't make me text and drive. Why are you going to Tahoe? You going for fun, or is there somebody shit a brick? They send Bukaki's like Ghostbusters, but he's shitbusters because he goes out and he unclogs the toilets. Man, I'll tell you something. I make fun of him just because shit and Bukaki go together so well, like peanut butter and chocolate. But that's a damn good career he's found himself in. I bet he's going to end up making more money than all of us watching this show if he sticks with that shit. Literally. All right. Let's focus. I look like who? I look like David Jaffe with sunglasses, says Carlos. Well, again, just so I can tell you, this is not me trying to be cool. Again, fuck you. I never really cared. I tried to be cool when I wanted to be Fonzie in preschool. That was about it. But this is, who the fuck's Fonzie? Fuck you, I'm old. My references still work if you're old too. But a lot of it is I got to figure out a way to stop this key light from just bleeding into my eyeballs. That's the real issue. But it's hard to see the stream because these are really tinted. So anyway, but yeah, Lunch with Jaffe's coming up today. If you don't know what that is, it's a bunch of us I don't know how many today will come, but we haven't done it in a while. But we'll be in the Discord. We'll play some poker on Discord poker. We'll watch some videos. We'll shoot the shit. We'll eat lunch. It'll be fun. Is he the guy? Fonzie is the guy who jumped the shark. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Fonzie was. It's a very strange thing what is cool at any given time. Fonzie was I'm not even fucking with you. If you haven't watched Happy Days, which is where that's from, the character, Fonzie was this guy who wore a leather jacket. He was like 30 years old. He hung out with high school students, and his office, quote, I'm not even fucking with you. This is crazy to me now. They hung out at Arnold's Diner, okay, which was like a 50s diner. And Mr. Miyagi, by the way, the guy who played Pat Morita, Mr. Miyagi, was Arnold in the show. So anyway, he had something he called his office, that whenever he wanted to have a serious conversation with you, and everybody was scared of the Fonz. Everybody was scared of the Fonz because, I don't know, I guess he'd beat the shit. I don't fucking know. And he'd say, okay, in my office now. And so, the teenagers would be like, oh shit, Fonz is mad. His office was the bathroom of the diner. Can you imagine? That's a real high-class office you got there, Arthur Fonzarelli. Your fucking bathroom where somebody's stinking it up, eating one of the Pat Morita burgers. Yeah, that's the place to go for a serious meeting. But the women just came running, man. The women just came running. He would just sit there and he would snap his fingers and go, hey, and all the women would just like, whoa. And it's like, and first off, they were not women, really. They were high school girls. And it's like, what is happening on this television show at the point? That was called Happy Days. Somebody was having happy days until he got arrested for, fucking children. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, don't forget the jukebox. That was the thing. He could hit the jukebox and it would just go. Any song he wanted, he'd go, or I don't fucking know. And he'd hit it and the music would start playing. Total pedophile. Fonzie was a pedophile, but all of us kids in preschool and kindergarten, we had Fonzie jackets because we all wanted to be, I guess, like little pedophiles, just like Fonzie. Just like little pedophiles like Fonzie. He's a total pedophile. Happy days indeed. Good God almighty. Welcome to Gabbin' and Games for October 25th, 4th. Who gives a shit? Fuck you. Also, don't forget, if you're a member, Brain on Games is up for you right now, the newest episode where we talk all about freedom in video games. We cover Zelda. We cover, hey, what would horror games like Silent Hill 2 be like if they had more freedom? Like Tears of the Kingdom. Would it be better if you solved the puzzles in that game, if you could do kind of anything you wanted as long as it worked? Or do you like the fact that they're like, nope, if you want to burn this particular rope in this particular section of the game, you need to collect the 3 pieces of the lighter and put them together, and then that's how you burn the rope. It's a good episode. That's up for members now. It goes free Monday for everybody, and there'll be a new horror-themed Brain on Games coming up in the next week or so just for members. Oh, also, I got to let you know, I made a video. We talked about it on the stream, and then I did a video the other day with the developer about his game BZZZT. Bzz. It's not selling well. He's like, I'm all depressed. My game's not selling. And I made a video, and he and I started talking, and he's agreed to come on the show, or I'll do an offline interview, and we're going to talk all about his experience. Now, I'm fascinated to have this conversation with this guy because his whole thing, I see this reflected in a lot of indie devs, which is I'm just making things I want and they turn out to be really good. His game, BZZT, I'm just calling it Buzz, has incredibly great reviews over on Steam. I bought it. I haven't played it yet. It's a platforming game. But he's like, I'm depressed. It's not selling. And a lot of indie devs do this. They kind of make stuff they like, and then they're like, but it's good. People said if you just make something good, people will show up. And it's been really interesting to kind of watch his journey on the Twitter as he begins to recognize, okay, there's more to this than that. I need to put on the marketing hat and the game creator hat. And I want to have a conversation with him about that. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be coming up pretty soon as well for Brain on Games, which is where we get a little more serious talking about the beautiful art that is game design. And then it'll be free for everybody down the road. Okay. Interesting. Cosmic Bandito, back to Happy Days, says those people on the show were supposed to be caricatures or stereotypes. I don't think Fonz was supposed to be much older than the students, like he dropped out. I don't know. Okay, well, I mean, seriously, let's just think about this. You've got Arthur Fonzarelli. Let's assume he's 22. He's still fucking around with high school girls who were 17 and under. And then you've got Mrs. C. He lives above Mrs. C's garage and Mr. C's garage, right? Mrs. C's got to be 40. She's the parent of Richie and Joni Cunningham, rents out the room to Arthur, and they're always flirting like crazy. So you either got a fucking cougar fucking a 20-year-old dropout, or you got a 20-year-old dropout fucking 17. There's something wrong with that show. And then don't get me started when Mork and Mindy show up. Mork's from another planet. This is what we had. Okay, we're not like you kids today where you had 1,000 channels on YouTube and I think I'm interested in watching some big fucking 50-year-old fat guy talk about video games. I'll go to YouTube. You had to watch what they put on the TV show. And so it was that or Barney Miller. Fuck you. That's what we watched. Fonz was different time. And yeah, no, I'm telling you, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. Okay. Girls in my high school had boyfriends in college. Well, that's a tale as old as time. We had that as well. And it was always like, really? But here's the trick. I always very uncomfortable. There was this one girl who's super cute. But I was 16, almost 17, and she was 13. And we're going to get to games, I promise. And we're out she's in the band with me and stuff. So we would always drive everybody everywhere and stuff. And it was just her and me. I think I had taken some of their friends home. And then we were driving and we pulled over to look at something. And then she basically kind of made a move on me. And I was just like, I can't, man. This is weird. You're 13 years old. I'm 17. I'm not saying I'm not judging you for it. I'm just saying for me, I couldn't do it. But then when I got into college and we were like, well, now we can get all the high school girls. It's like, I'm in college. Why do I want to go out with a high school girl? I never got to be the beneficiary of the creepy older dudes in college and high school is all I'm saying. And that's unfortunate, but I couldn't do it. It was too gross for me. It was weird, man. Okay. Let's move forward. No, Jaffe, no. This is why we're here, to hear about your fucking high school, have therapy, and shut up. God. P Turtle only. Yeah, of course, PK. That's his whole bread and butter. Believe it or not, we're going to get, oh, fuck it. We're already there. Let's just get to this story. Did you see this story? I know we're gonna okay, I'll get to it later. It's deeper in the show. I like to start with the mainstream news at the beginning and talk about things that more people are interested in. But trust me, there's a story Kotaku put up about it gets into some of the shit we're talking about. So it's kind of weird, but it's also fascinating. We'll talk about that. Hang on. Call of Duty officially comes out tonight. Black Ops 6. They make the best Call of Duties over there at, who does this one? Treyarch? Are they the Treyarch fellas? Is it Treyarch who does these? The last Black Ops was excellent. The beta for this multiplayer was excellent. The campaign is all set during the first Gulf War, so it's kind of semi-modern history, at least for somebody like me. I'm excited for it. I will be getting it. I will be playing some tonight. I'll be playing multiplayer with the chat moving forward. I'm looking forward to this. It's on Game Pass. A lot of people, of course, are talking about the Game Pass effect. I'm going to tell you something. So there was an article that came out from GI Biz about, hey, what's going on? Is this going to move the needle? And a lot of these analysts, including our good friend Michael Pachter, were like, it's going to give Game Pass between 2 and 4 million subs is kind of what they're analyzing and suggesting. Pachter has a really good point. He says Call of Duty players generally play for much longer because of multiplayer and frequent map drops. I think the average is closer to 6 months and a lot play year-round. Year-round players will sign up to Game Pass and stay. Because that's the real question is, it's like, yeah, you're going to get a bunch of people signing up, but at the same time, are you going to get them sticking around after, it wears out its welcome? So in a lot of ways, I bet we will see, even though Call of Duty does a great job with seasons, I bet they are going, look, fellas, this year, more than any other year for Call of Duty, it really makes a difference for us to be dropping compelling content as regularly, if not more frequently than we have in the past, because we really have to keep people from churning out of their monthly subscriptions or this isn't going to work. Obviously, we've got Indie coming. We've got Stalker, which the people who've played it recently are saying it's potential Game of the Year contender. It's that good. I don't know if that's just hyperbole given that how the game was developed, but it does look good. And people who've actually gone hands-on 2 weeks ago were like, this is a really good game. It's hard, but it's really good. Microsoft Flight Sim, if you're into that sort of nonsense. Avowed is coming. They got a good lineup. So if the next couple of months doesn't make Game Pass meaningful, then something's gone wrong. The problem is this, though. All right, Necro, good to see you, buddy. The problem is this, which I have said this forever. I was always in favor of this acquisition as it relates to the art form. And we can get into that if you want, but I've done it ad nauseum. But just for the sake of this conversation, where we're at in this conversation, assume that what I'm talking about is I'm in favor of this because I think it helps the art form, okay? But I was always like going, yeah, man, but the thing is, it's only going to matter if you push down on PlayStation's pain point, which is, hey, Indie's coming to PlayStation 5. Call of Duty 6 is coming to PlayStation 5. Avowed probably is, and a lot of other games are. But you know what? If you want them for $70 each, that's not a problem, pal. Or you can play them, quote, for free on Game Pass all year round, right? Whether you agree or disagree with Game Pass, that is their most compelling aspect to that service. And where are I am not fucking with you guys. I am like, where are the fucking ads? Right? I mean, seriously, this is not me going, I'm doing a bit and I'm a angry YouTuber. I want clicks. This is me going, I literally am agog. Is that a word? I am aghast. I am confused. I genuinely don't understand, where is the marketing, and not just Call of Duty, because I've gotten mixed responses from everyone from Pactor to Incognito over on Last Stand Media and Iron Lords about the legal issue of what they can and can't promote. And clearly they can promote it because there have been, you can play it on Game Pass ads, but this needs to be everywhere. This needs to be everywhere. And I'm just fascinated. It's like, do you guys have marketing? You guys are one of the biggest companies in the world, Microsoft. Do you not want people to know about this? I don't understand. Let me show you a couple things when I was a kid. Yeah, 1 minute says I think they have some sort of contract where they can't advertise it. But that's not, see, that's what I assumed was the case. But then I have found a lot of people saying, well, that's not really the case. And then you also, at least specifically, there are some aspects to that, but it's not wholesale that they can't advertise it. And we have seen ads like on the internet where they say it's on Game Pass. So when I was a kid, 1 minute says, are you looking for ads? Do you watch TV with ads often? It's not, it doesn't have to be an ad that is a traditional ad, although that ain't going to hurt because, a lot of people who watch live TV, specifically sports, are also people who play Call of Duty. And you do get ads in that unless you tape the thing early, and then watch it fast forward like I do with like certain football games. But, whether you're doing it, however you define an ad today in 2024, I've had numerous people anecdotally tell me on this stream, it's like, dude, I got into my Uber today. The guy didn't know what Game Pass was. My friends are hardcore Call of Duty fans. They don't know what Game Pass is. So whether they're getting their ads from the internet, from television, from influencers, from, podcast, whatever, Microsoft is absolutely not pushing this. Brad Skaggs says, I watch a lot of TV at work and have never seen a Game Pass ad. I have 2 TVs on sports. It's very strange. I just want to show you what I'm talking about. When I was a kid, this is only 30 seconds. This was an ad Activision ran, right? And you guys know, if you're a little younger or older, we saw the ads back in the day of like Sega does what Nintendo don't. They were always comparing them. This is the first one I saw was George Plimpton, who was some intellectual, I think, shilling in television.
So when Mattel Electronics asked me to compare their Intellivision games with Atari, I gave it a try. I compared Atari baseball with Intellivision and found Intellivision played much more like real baseball. Then I compared Atari football with Intellivision. Again, Intellivision played more like the real game. In my opinion, if you try them both, there's only one conclusion you can come to. in television from Mattel Electronics.
Okay, and then there was this one. This was Atari, their television ad.
I'd like an Atari 2600 system, please, and everything that goes with it.
Everything? You sure you want everything?
I want everything.
Now you get a new low price, up to $30 in rebate offers, and a free pack.
Is that everything?
It's not everything. You can get nearly 300 different cartridges.
300?
That's nothing.
It's something.
But it's not everything. Soon there'll be a voice module, trackball, remote control joysticks, and a computer keyboard.
It's amazing.
It's amazing, but it's not everything.
It's not everything.
Soon there'll be educational games, too.
Is that everything?
That's everything. For now.
For now?
The Atari 2600.
Now get up to $30 in rebate offers plus a free Pac-Man.
Right, these were the ads that were like, hey, are you in, you want to consider the competition in us? This is what we offer. And I'm literally asking you guys in the chat, what am I missing here? Why do you think, like, seriously, I know some people who watch this work at Xbox. Where is the news story from a little Jason Schreier or from any of these people going, oh, this is why they're not marketing Game Pass? Aren't you curious about that? I mean, you're basically talking about this is their secret weapon. This is their AAA game every year is Game Pass. Why is this so rare to have the narrative of like, hey, you want this? I'm asking. I'm not like, see, I'm making a point. I don't understand. I understand your point 1 minute. If their audience isn't watching TV, where do you advertise? I understand their main audience, although again with sports, but a lot of their audience is not watching TV, but they are consuming advertising. Like I said, whether it's podcast, whether it's YouTube, whether it's influencers, whether it's billboards. Warped Eye, I don't agree. Warped Eye said it doesn't need marketing. I would love to agree with you, but given that, at least anecdotally, the number of people who don't know what Game Pass is are pretty high. 1 minute says, I've seen many ads for Call of Duty this week. I don't think even Microsoft came out and said their ads for Call of Duty are the amount of like a big Hollywood blockbuster movie is what they're spending. It's not saying Call of Duty is here. We all know Call of Duty is here. It's, hey, Call of Duty is here and it's on Game Pass, which means this. Indie is here. Call of Duty is here. Avowed is here. Stalker is here. Flight Sim is here. Doom is coming. Gears is coming. You want all this? You can get it on PlayStation. That'll cost you about $1,000, or you can get it all for $19 a month. That's the ad they need. Because people don't know what it is. That's all I'm saying. I don't get it. It sounds like nobody in the chat understands it either. It doesn't, unless you guys in the chat are saying, Jaffe, it's not a good ad. Nobody, and like at that point, then okay, then Game Pass is not a good product. But if it's not a good product, then they should stop, buying companies for $70 billion to add content to that product. They want you to buy the game, not get it on Game Pass, says Dystopia. I would disagree with you, sir. I think if you're Microsoft, the very reason you bought Call of Duty is to put it on Game Pass. That was why they fought so hard. In fact, I saw IGN put up a poll and said, hey, if you buy Call of Duty every year, are you buying it this year or are you getting it on Game Pass? 70% said they're getting it on Game Pass. So, and that's people who follow IGN on Twitter, right? They still need to advertise. So, all right. Anyway, I don't know. Sounds like you don't know. I'm going to tell you something that people are wrong about, though. I will. The media is for me. Let me get to the chat. Let me make sure I don't miss anything. Then I'll get to the next story. Diablo Mozart, pretty good. Good handle, says the media is fractured. Back then, you got all that through TV, maybe radio. Now you have many other branches. Again, I get it. I understand. But I could point to a number of successful ads that have worked in the last 5 years in the current fractured media landscape and go, okay, they may have to, shotgun it into a lot of different places, but the message gets out there. It may not be one big Super Bowl ad, but the message is not getting out there, is my point. Thank you, Game Lord Nitro. I appreciate that. He says, I love your work, Jaffe. I appreciate that. They knew, okay, so it shocks me how Microsoft doesn't pay good money to advertise Game Pass on primetime football. I agree, 100%. Or Fox fucking News, man. I mean, it's pathetic. It's disgusting, but the presidential debates had ads. Fucking, put it up there. Okay. Let's move forward, though, shall we? Okay. I do want to point something out, and this is not a culture war thing. I just want to point it out as it relates to specific data. I'm not going to get into a culture war discussion. I'm bored of that. Oh, before I get into that, though, I do want to show you this. Speaking of Atari commercials, I saw this one when I was searching for these. Look at the Green Goblin, man. That's a good Green Goblin. The Spider-Man is like the Electric Company Spider-Man, but still, that's pretty good.
Watch yourself fall, Silk Slinger! Gotta stop the bombs in time. If I don't get you webhead by the...
I mean, for back then, it's better than Sam Raimi's Spider-Man that he shipped with. That's all I'm saying. Listen to this. The real Boss Moss says, I know someone who works for Call of Duty marketing in LA. They spend a lot of money and time at streaming events and sports. Maybe that's how they prefer to blow the budget. Maybe it is. But why is it the fact, boss, please ask your friend, why isn't Microsoft pushing the insane value of Game Pass as it relates to Call of Duty, Indiana Jones, all of this stuff? I'm serious. If you have a friend who works over there, please ask them or tell them to, they don't need to tell me, but if they'll tell you and you could kind of, distill it without getting that person in trouble, I'm dying to know that information. I would love to know what their thinking is, because can you imagine if come February, they're like, yeah, Game Pass, we had a great Call of Duty launch and then we just kind of cratered, and it's like, and they didn't advertise the Game Pass value. Can you imagine? It's like, you idiots. Nobody knows about it. Are you your heads up your butthole that much that you really just think it? You just, what is Phil Spencer? Go into a deep meditation every night and try to communicate through psychic powers. That Game Pass is a thing, and they're like, well, Phil says he's doing it. He says he did the meditation a couple times this week. That's, Bukaki says, imagine if they put the NFL a game. Oh, that's interesting. Good idea. That's a great idea. Broken clocks right twice a day. Bukaki comes in and says, imagine if the NFL put a game on Game Pass, so you had to get a free trial or sign up for a month to watch it. And once you were done, you could check out what Game Pass is all about. That's a really good idea. Or a concert. Hey, you want to watch? I don't fucking know who I don't know who the Game Pass audience loves, but let's assume it's sort of whoever the NFL audience loves. So I don't fucking know. Let's just take a big name in music. And it's like, yeah, there's a free concert on Game Pass. Absolutely. Absolutely. Get people into the goddamn thing. Gino Soul, hello, he says, I don't know that you like a lot the franchise Call of Duty, Jaffe, damn. Yeah, I don't know what that means, what you just wrote. Please try again, please. Let's talk culture war briefly, just about how dumb it is. People were asking me this on the stream the last couple of days. Jaffe, what do you think about Unknown 9 Awakening? I guess it's a Bandai Namco game. I never heard of this fucking game. I've never heard of this fucking game. But apparently it's the latest in the culture war, see, go woke, go broke, blah, blah, blah. I only want to point this out because this is kind of, we were kind of touching a little bit on this recently with this idea of Grums and the idea that it's important to have actual facts, right? It's important to have data if you're really interested in more than your side, quote, winning. Like, I care about the truth. I care about like, hey, if it turns out that there really is a meaningful part of the audience that's financially meaningful that does not like any diversity. You can call it forced diversity, but then, you know, that's sort of picking it little, you know, your forced diversity is normal to me. So let's just assume, you know, it's any kind of diversity that's obvious. Let's say that. Well, okay, that's disappointing to me as a progressive, but that's a valid thing to have a conversation about if it was true. But even in the chat right now, you've got Addy Pie going, LOL, let these DEI disasters keep flopping. This is what I need you to understand about that is a lot of the media outlets that say, that you guys say, or a lot of guys say are lefty, progressive, not to be trusted, blah, blah, blah. It's not like they're giving it 90s and the user score is a 1.7 saying go woke, go broke. It's literally all of the press that a lot of these guys say are progressive as fuck are also saying, yeah, don't buy this. It's crap. So I'm not suggesting that there is no evidence. Maybe there is overwhelming evidence, or maybe it's not a lot of evidence, but I'm not saying there's no evidence to suggest that there are games that have diversity presented in such a way that it harms sales. But I also think it's important, if you really do care about the truth and not just your side winning, to kind of look at the facts. This game is not going broke because it went woke. If it did, I don't even know what the game is. I know it's like an action adventure something. It's going broke because, according to reviewers that are also lefty progressive that are right in line to respond to the woke stuff, according to a lot of you guys, it's a shit game. It's a shit game. So, you know, just you either want to be right and you want to be honest. I mean, seriously, don't you want to be that person? When all is said and done and they bury you or they burn you or whatever ends up happening to you, don't you want to go to the grave and go, you know what? I cared about the truth as best as I could discover it. I didn't have such an ego about winning. I didn't have such a bee in my bonnet about, I just want to, I don't want to do any self-reflection about why I really love and hate the things I love and hate. I just want to be on the winning team. Or I want people to validate what I think without having to grow. This is evidence. This is evidence. Is it a bad game, Jaffe? I don't know, Gino Soul. What I know is the progressive reviewers are saying it's crap, basically. Isn't that why it's going broke? And also because maybe Bandai didn't market it? Yeah, Robbo says the game is just not on par with other AA games on the market. It had no marketing at all. Right. But look at the comments of the user reviews. Go woke, go broke. You're saying if we don't like it, don't buy it. Well, guess what? Yeah, Khalid kid. Go woke, go broke. SBI is a cancer of entertainment, says Tabri 2000. Maybe it is. But why are you posting it here? It's got nothing to do with that. It's Jaffe's game of the year, says Brad. Wait a minute. No, Addy Pie, you're wrong. Addy Pie says no one gives a crap about this when they're on their deathbed. No one gives a crap about this game or DEI or the culture wars. No, that's not what I'm saying, Addy Pie. I'm saying that when your final page is written, I'd like to think most people would like to wrap it all up and go, you know what? I was a good person that tried to be honest and kind and good to other people. And I wasn't so insecure that I just lied to myself all the time. This would just be one of thousands of things you could point to suggest that you were either, depending on how you respond to this story, person type A or person type B. That's what I'm saying. Okay. All right. But I will tell you regarding my favorite game of the year, VGC is one of my favorite websites out there, Video Game Chronicle or Central or whatever. I love going there. I love their writing. It's great. But here it's really funny because, yeah, my two favorite, I have three favorite games of the year right now. Silent Hill 2, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and Star Wars Outlaws. This is why reviews are, they're meant to be. That's why I like them in aggregate. I like to kind of get the general consensus to see what most people are thinking. But yeah, if I were to go off these reviews, yeah, they're not loving what I'm loving. They're loving what I was like, Astrobot's really good. Certainly, I wouldn't give it 5 fucking stars. But interesting to me. And again, I was watching Gene Park on his Twitter last night, just going in on people who were just like, the level of discourse. I mean, it's so gross, you guys. The level of discourse amongst people on the internet, especially video game fans, is so poor. Like, I don't mean to, it's like, didn't you guys go to school, not college, but like just to a high school that gave a shit about you? I mean, don't you understand the value of, like Gene, who's a fucking award-winning journalist at the Washington Post, says something about a video game and some, that's fucking stupid, you're an idiot. And I'm just like, dude, how often can you speak with an award-winning journalist who works at one of the most legendary newspapers in history, and you're like, you're fucking dumb because you didn't like the way Aloy wasn't as fuckable as I wanted her to be. I mean, what's the matter with you? See, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of stupid people. I really am. I wish to God there could be some kind of internet for people who pass an IQ test. Doesn't mean people who don't pass it don't get to be on the internet. They absolutely can be on the internet. But get away from me. I'm tired of the riffraff. Anyway, that's that. Listen to this. I want to point this out really quick, briefly. Stop spending so long lecturing. Fuck you, Mighty Silverback. Why don't you pay for a fucking subscription? And then I'll take your advice, you piece of shit gorilla. Isn't that what a silverback is, Mighty Silverback? But I love you. I love you so much. I love Mighty Silverback. I want to make a baby with the gorilla. Listen to this. I only bring this up because, JSD says got him. That was a sick burn, wasn't it? Yeah. But I bring this up because I was talking about this BZZT game and about indie devs that are, they make these games and they don't sell and they wonder why, and they just don't put on a marketing hat. Right? I wanted to bring this up because it's a really cool tactic. And I'm not saying you can do it 1-to-1, but Roger Corman did it. The Cannon films from the 80s, which were just abysmally horrible movies. They were junk. There's a great documentary on Cannon films on, I don't know, one of the services. If you're into kind of film history and you want to see like schlock personified, watch the Cannon documentary. But what they did, though, was they would go to these film festivals and they would simply, like, one of the executives would say, I got this idea. I don't know. He didn't talk like this. He was Israeli, so he had an Israeli accent, but I got this idea about a girl vampire, but whenever she's on her period, she loses all her powers. It's a horror film, but it's also, kind of funny. And that was it. And then they would go off and they would do a really cool movie poster for it. And, because it was a movie, they would, put their dream actor or actress in the movie poster. And they would take like 30 posters to film festivals and they would sell the rights based on the idea, if it was compelling enough. And if they could sell enough of the rights to make enough money, then they would go and they would make the movie, right? The idea in video games, it's not that you can do that 1-to-1, but if you really care about selling your game, before you get more than a month into it, get AI if you don't have any money, hire an artist if you want, if you do have money, and just kind of, seed the idea out there amongst people, and see if people would really vibe with it. Do 5 of these things and say, out of these 5, which one would you want to play? And then you would go off and say, out of these 5, they really like this one about the sniper who is lost behind enemy lines, and he's communicating with a drone pilot, which is his only help. But it turns out the drone pilot's been dead for 50 years. Well, the drone's still real, but the voice coming through is that of a ghost or something. Okay, that's the one they want. Okay, I'll make that one then. At least you know you're on a path that's meaningful. I think there's valuable insight if you look at these way they used to market these films if you're an indie dev. And by the way, that game I just pitched, I would play the shit out of that game. But I think it's really fucking crucial. Otherwise, people just you make something, you spend 2 years, 3 years of your life, you love it, it's your passion project, and then you show up and it's like the fucking Warner Brothers frog that opens the door, not the frog, but the guy who opens the door to the theater, and he's got the singing Warner Brothers frog, and the frog just sits on the stage and nobody shows up. Come on now. You know it's true. It's good stuff. But yeah, that's how they did it back then. And that's how they, we did something similar when I was the creative director of Sony Santa Monica. We were looking to greenlight a new game, and we hired a company, and this was on the internet, to basically, I wrote 5 paragraphs. Each paragraph was a different game idea. And I want to say I had a single piece of concept art for each idea. And we sent this out to this service, and then they seeded it out, to, I don't know, it was like 10,000 people that were in the wheelhouse of games. And I think one of them was like a Civil War first-person shooter, which, not that we wanted to be political, but how can you not? But it was more because, there were submarines. They had fucking balloon combat, like hot air balloon combat. There were all these things in the Civil War that we'd never really seen depicted, certainly not in a video game. So we had that one. We had a horror one. We had like 5 of these, and we sent them out. And I don't remember now. It's been a long time, but I don't remember which one came back and people said that is the overwhelming one, but that's the one we started to make, basically. How is Canon Films doing these days, Jaffe, says Ravnos? I believe they're out of business, but they had a very long, lucrative run, and they're not out of business because people aren't looking for schlock. It's that, the movie theaters pretty much killed these kinds of movies, and VHS went away. And now it's not dissimilar to AA games and indie games. Now, if you want to watch a movie like Canon made, there's tons of them. I saw one guy, I follow him. He follows me on Twitter. He made a movie for Amazon about a couch that eats people. And it was like, he made 3 of them. That's how big of a hit it was. And yeah, Troma's still going. James Taquino. James Taquino, welcome to the Diet Soda Soldiers, my good friend. I appreciate you being here. What does that mean for you? It means you get to watch the videos before everybody else. You get to come to special events. You get to watch a new Brain on Games coming up starting next week. Come on now. We're doing a movie night coming up soon. I appreciate you being here, James. James, give me a number between 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 and 20. And I'm going to tell you the essence of your soul, good Sir James Kino. Full Moon Features is still doing it. Evil Bong, Ginger Dead Man, that's right. That's exactly right. I would absolutely, if I knew there was a real career in that, even after making the awful Twisted Metal 1 movies, that I would have been that guy. I would have been the new Lloyd Kaufman, because I could make shit movies that were kind of fun and stupid. I could totally make those movies. All right, 1 through 8, here's what you get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is your spirit sound clip, James Taquino.
Go suck a big fucking dick.
I'm sorry, but it's Melissa McCarthy, so at least you have that going for you.
Go suck a big fucking dick.
All right, buddy, thank you. Would love to have your Sean Layden on the show. Oh, my God, Tristan. Tristan, I'd love to have Layden on the show, but he ain't coming on this fucking show. He ain't coming on this show because he knows I would ask him things that he don't want to be asked. I don't do kid gloves bullshit. I don't work through PR people. And it doesn't mean that I try to do gotcha stuff and make people uncomfortable, but you don't get Sean Layden on your fucking interview without going, talk to me, Sean. You're progressive. You're smart. You're staggeringly educated. Explain to me how you can square away mentally working with China, with Tencent specifically. I'm not opposed to Chinese citizenship. China does a lot of great things. There's a lot of beautiful stuff about the country, but their politics are a nightmare. Not saying America's hands are clean, but I would want to talk to him about that. You think his PR people would say you could do that? Fuck no. He's not doing that. He wants to make money. He wants to stay employed. I get it. But this guy, Joseph Albarn, I reached out to Twitter. I says, hey, what do you guys, pipe tastes weird. It's like strawberry. Wink. Well, what do you guys want to talk about today? And this one guy, Joseph Albarn, says, what do you think of Sean Layden's recent comment about the lack of AA games and its impact on the overall ecosystem? Here's what I'll say about that. I understand his point, but I don't. So, okay, here's what I think about that. Number one, a lot of things that we look at now as AA used to be not AA. Like Twisted Metal now, 2012, you would call a AA game. At the time, it wasn't a AA game. It was a AAA game. I mean, it was as much as anything else, for the most part, Sony was spending money on. But I think what's happened, though, honestly, is the number of people who are comfortable and interested in AA are just as comfortable and interested in indie. And so indie's faster, indie's cheaper. And the people who want something that used to be okay with AA, they've just gone to either AAA or indie. So it's not that AA went away because the market conditions, it's that service or that need was filled, I think, by a cheaper competitor, which is indie games, right? So you may be in the market for, an arena shooter, and you're not going to get that in AA, and you could have gotten that or AAA, and you could have gotten that in AA back in the day. Now you just get it in indie, right? So I think that you what you have to do though is you have to be very aware of the landscape. And the landscape, if most of what you do is play on console, is you would assume that AA games have gone away. And they're still there a little bit. Like Evil West, I think, was a great AA game. There are definitely AA games coming. There's a new trailer that came out today for the new Sniper Elite. I loved the last Sniper. Sniper Elite Resistance, I think, fits squarely into what is still called a AA game. This comes out into January, and I don't know if you played the last one, Rated M. But it's really fucking good. Tormented Souls, ADT. I'm excited for that as well. I don't know if I would say, I guess it's not indie. It's kind of almost into AA kind of thing. But yeah, I look at this and I go, like, again, the last Sniper game, which was Sniper 5, and I don't know enough about the franchise to say when they put Elite, is that a different game? Like Sniper 5, is Sniper Elite Resistance the sixth one? Or is Elite kind of like, oh no, that means it's a co-op game only? I don't know. But the last Sniper was definitely AA, and it was better than a bunch of AAA that came out. RoboCop, the latest Terminator game from the same studio is a great AA game. And I also love the fact that you're killing Nazis in this game. I'm tired of these. Think about that we live in a world where there are some video games. There was some strategy game recently that pulled the Nazi insignia out. It's like, you pulling the Nazi insignia out when you're worried about the Nazi market? You fucking Nazi, you know? Anyway. Okay. But I'm a huge fan, and I would love to see Sony open up a division or a group of studios that do this. that make smaller. I mean, seriously, imagine people have been wanting like a Gabe Logan adventure. Now, I'm not saying Gabe Logan is some kind of great franchise that needs to come back. 95% of people's love for Gabe Logan is nostalgia. But let's just take, you can make a Siphon Filter AA game very much like this, easily, in the AA space. And the people who want a game like that would be totally fine. Totally fine. The Sniper Elite game, says Robbo, are usually World War II, and Sniper Ghost Warrior is modern style. But what was the last one then? What was the one that came out a couple years ago? Sniper 5. Was it called Sniper 5? Is Space Marine 2 AA? Yes, I would say it's AA. If you made Eco today, it would be a Sony AA. I agree. Doesn't need a huge budget. Well, again, though, the thing is, it's just like the movie studios now. Sniper Elite 5. This is Sniper Elite Resistance. Gotcha. Okay. So what's the difference between Sniper Elite 5 and Sniper Elite Resistance? Is this basically the sequel? And Eddie T, are you serious? The new Wolfenstein doesn't call them Nazis, but people with political... Are you kidding? Or are you just joking around or what? It takes place during Sniper Elite 5, but different character. Okay. Got it. Yeah, no, I'm totally down with this. I'm looking forward to it. Where did it go? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Oh, you're joking, says Eddie T. Gotcha. Indiana Jones doesn't have national emblems. I don't know about that yet, Last Action Hero. I thought that at first too. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're getting the Nazis out of Indiana Jones? But then somebody was telling me that the some of the insignia on the enemies that you're beating up are definitely, obviously, sort of Third Reich insignia. So I don't know if we just didn't see any Nazi flags, but they're clearly Nazis, or they go out of their way to say, we're not going to call them Nazis. And if they do, they should be ashamed of themselves. And I don't think that. There's no way. There's no way that's happening. In fact, let's look at the latest trailer. Indiana and the Great Circle. Let's just see while we're talking. The latest trailer was 2 months ago, 4 weeks ago. Okay, let's look at this one from IGN while we're chatting. I would be stunned if this that they would be, what a mistake they would make. If there's no way. I don't believe you. I don't believe you that there's no Nazi insignia in this game. And if there isn't, what a horrible idea. I'll just look it up. James Kino says, yeah, imagine not calling Nazis Nazis. In Call of Duty, you like killing Nazis? Sure. If I'm playing a World War II game, I'll kill them any time period. Somebody posted on Twisted Metal subreddit, hey, Trey, about them remaking or remastering 3 Twisted titles. Anything you know about that news? I really don't. I have zero communication with anyone in Sony game production anymore. I mean, I know people over there that every now and then will call me, but they don't call me and like, hey, Jaffe, we're making a new Twisted Metal. We want your input, or we're doing a God. No, so I don't, let's put it this way. If they're going to remake it, that makes sense. I would not remaster those games. I don't think they hold up. You could go back and totally, I mean, if you went back and totally reskinned Twisted Metal 2, remade it, but basically made the exact same game, and then you had an online mode that was still 1v1, I think that might be worth exploring. But I definitely don't think you want to just give it an HD up-res, and I definitely don't think you want to put 8 cars in there and say, it's online. Those are fighting games, really. They work best when it's 1v1. So, okay. Jaffe, would you want Haldus 2 on Xbox? I don't know what Haldus is. I do think people recensoring Nazis out of games. I do not think people are recensoring Nazis out of games. Nazi is a term slung around more than almost any. It's not a slur. Nazi is not a slur. Nazi is a definition of a political party whose ideology and actions are the closest we'll ever actually see or have so far. Not the only, but one of the top 5 closest things we've ever seen to pure evil. So no, it's not a slur. Do I like the new Indiana Jones movie? No, it's terrible. It's terrible. There's some moments. The opening's pretty good. But no, Disney had Nazis in the last indie movie. It wasn't that. I'm talking about the game. Okay, let's move forward though, shall we? I'm literally not going to get into a discussion about is it okay to kill Nazis in games. Where were you educated at this point? I will tell you though, Slitterhead has there's not a lot of hype on Slitterhead. It comes out in less than a month at this point. And the preview is Slitterhead has its jank from Push Square, but also promise and heart. This is the very definition of a AA game. I think, I don't know. I think with this one, I'm interested in this one because the pedigree of the team, the guys that made the original Silent Hill, Gravity Rush, Siren, they left Sony because they said, we want to spend so much money. We just want to make cool shit. Slitterhead probably could have been made in the indie space. Is that's that weird zone between A and AA. And I don't know, like there's already a lot of people who are like, oh, it's so fucking janky. And I'm like, I get it, right? I was that kind of guy as a kid and teenager. I didn't want to go see an indie movie. I wanted to see a movie with big production on the screen. So people are just like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there are people that will reject something like this out of hand, and they are not people who buy in the AAA space and sometimes in the AA space. I don't have a problem with jank if it's interesting. So in a lot of ways, you could look at this and go, this probably could have been made cheaper than it was. But yeah, I don't hear anyone talking about it. The previews have been good, but what like this preview says, it's janky and it's it basically there's two core there's a meta loop and that's made up of two loops. The first loop is navigation by moving from body to body to body, because you don't really play a person, you play this like entity that can possess bodies. And apparently a lot of the bodies are the same, but then there are like kind of real key bodies that are like, this one's really strong, this one's really fast. And it's about sort of moving through the space like that. And then it's about the actual combat with the monsters when you encounter them. And apparently the combat is kind of janky and doesn't feel great. And even though the monsters are cool and it's got the wrapping of horror, it doesn't feel like a horror game. It feels more like an action game. So I don't really know. And people say it, like I said, it's got heart. It's interesting. It's cool. It has promise. But I don't know if this is a game that's going to sink or swim simply based on the jank or the AA, or maybe somebody even like me. It's like, it's not that it was that. It was just that after 20 minutes, the moment to moment gameplay just felt kind of eh. But I love the idea of creative people walking away from the big budgets and going, you know what? I just want to do cool shit. And if I have to do that for 30 million versus 300 million, I'd rather make my living doing that and rolling those dice. And thank God for those people. Thank fucking God for those people, because, these guys could have done a game with Sony. And they said, no, we don't really want to work with you guys. Not that they don't want to work with Sony, but it's like, to work with Sony, it's got to be big. I remember and again, I don't think there was ever any, danger or promise of us making it, but we pitched this. So all these studios, we pitched EA a game called Guardians back at Bartlett Jones days. And it was kind of like Left 4 Dead, but it was angels or people who had died, and each person who died was of a different religious faith, and they were resurrected with powers that reflected that faith. I don't know if it would have worked as like an indie narrative game, not as, but whatever. And we pitched it as like a narrative game, and they're like, well, we're really looking right now for big budget co-op service games. And they're like, if you can make that into a big budget co-op service game, we're interested, right? And it's just like, they own, these companies only want to swing for the fences because the payoff is not worth it. The only way you could convince a company like Sony, I think, that AA payoff is worth it is to go, it's Farm League. It's like, look, where do you think your next franchises are coming from? So you may not make a shit ton of money on Slitterhead, but you may make a shit ton of money on Slitterhead 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 because the first game doesn't cost you much. You're not going to make a lot, comparatively speaking, to like a Last of Us Part 3, but you're going to find that you've just basically done market research with the team and the concept and the franchise, and then you're going to be ready to put $300 million into Slitterhead 2. That's the only way I think you convince one of these big companies to actually embrace AA at this point, because they look at the money they can make from something like a Fortnite or a Spider-Man 2 and they go, why would we be happy making $30 million in profit off a big hit AA game? So that's what I would say. That's what I would say. It'll have a cult following, says Robbo. You have to start somewhere. Sure, absolutely. But no, I'm very much looking forward to this game. I like when people are just like, look, I don't have a lot of money, but I want to do something interesting. The older I get, the more I game, the more I'm interested in things like that. There was a game that came out, I forget the name. They sent me a beautiful press box for it. I don't know why, but I was grateful. Called something like Dead Alive, and it was with a lady who had like live segments of cooking shows and stuff. And apparently it was really hard and really janky, but it seemed like it had a lot of heart. And then what was the game by Itagaki that was the something with thirds in the title that you could only get on a Wii or something? That I've never played it, but I'd like to go back and play that now. Cause I want to see some Wanted Dead. It was good, says Blue Gamer, and Devil's Third. I heard Wanted Dead was not good, but I heard it was interesting. And I'm going to pick that up. Remind me at 4:30 to look at Wanted Dead and Devil's Third. I'm interested. I'm very, very interested. Okay. If you don't swing the bat, you'll never get a hit. I'm glad there are publishers that swing for the fences. I am as well, Arathizzle, but swing for the fences doesn't just have to be big production. Swing for the fences can be, I didn't spend a lot of money. What was the fucking movie with Short Round and Michelle Yeoh that won the Best Picture? Everything, Anywhere, All at Once or whatever. That's swing for the fences. Didn't spend a lot of money. Some of them swinging for the fences is like, this is batshit crazy, but I'm going to do it because I believe in it. I'm a fan. I'm a fucking fan. Okay. Let's move on with our goddamned lives, shall we? Yeah. One moment. Where did that go? Hang on. Okay. Let me see what we got coming up here. All right, here's what I'd like to do. I want to see how long this video is first. One moment. Because today, Dread XP, which is Dread Central, did their horror showcase. And I was going to watch it with you guys, but I want to see how long it is. It is basically, it's about an hour. You know what I'll do? I'm going to save that then. I'm going to watch this members only chat maybe tonight or sometime this week. Because I want to prep for our lunch with Jaffe that's coming up. So what I would say to that is that if you're interested in watching it with us, stick around for that. But I don't want to get into it right now because it's too long. And we would start it and it would be, right? Right? I mean, should we start it? Fuck it. No, well, I'll make it its own thing. Let's not be morons. Okay. So in the meantime, let's talk about this. Kotaku story. This is a sensitive subject. It's a sensitive subject. But I'm really fascinated by this subject because, I, just like a lot of you guys, whether you know it or not, people out there who have tragically, sadly been abused as children sexually. And it's horrible. I've said it before. The one person I know directly likened it to the murder of a soul, is what they said to me. And I bring it up, though, because it doesn't seem to be getting any better. Now, part of it's reporting. We hear more about it. And part of it might just be, this is a real problem that's not going away. how do we deal with this, right? Well, the reason I bring this up is here's a story on Kotaku. AI companion site hacked. Data reveals users trying to simulate certain kinds of abuse, and we know what we're talking about. So what you could do, there was this site called, it's an AI girlfriend website that someone hacked into. The story's over at 404 Media. And it says, the guy who hacked in saw the stolen data and writes, in many cases, users were allegedly trying to create chatbots that could role play as, young folk. This guy writes, I went to the site to jerk off to an adult scenario. Let's be clear, he says. And I noticed that it looked like it was put together poorly. So I just started poking around as hackers do. And I started to see what was in the database. He says, the hacked data contains explicit prompts and messages about sexually abusing, The outlet reports that it saw one prompt that asked for an orgy with exceptionally young individuals. They said the hacker couldn't confirm if the site generated what the users were trying to get, but it's a dark look at what many people were trying to use AI generation to create. I only bring it up because I think it is such a taboo, rightly so, subject. But I wonder, if you are one of these people out there, do we have the data? Do we have the studies to show that this sort of role playing actually allows those people to get their rocks off without hurting anyone else? Because if so, it's almost like, hey, it sucks, but better on an AI than on a real person. Right. Cyclone, I agree. The issue is people don't even want to talk about any of this, solutions included. Yes, trying to stigmatize it causes more harm. Well, it should be stigmatized. It should be looked at as a incredibly horrific activity that needs to be removed from society as it relates to people actually doing it in real life. But I think there clearly are enough people that are doing this heinous shit that, I don't know, maybe we do need to allow stuff like this so those people don't actually go out and do this stuff, unless that research has been done. Arathizzle says, I thought there was research that says more porn leads to rougher porn. It might, but if it's just rougher porn, cool. If it's actual going out in the real world and engaging with this shit, that's a huge fucking problem. And I just, I don't know if they even allow studies to be done. I don't want to, I know it's video game tangentially related, but it's Kotaku, and I don't know. I can tell from the chat you guys don't even want to talk about it. You don't even want to address it, except a couple of you guys. Think about that for a moment. It's like, this is a real problem. I saw a video with Corey Feldman talking about, their upbringing in Hollywood. And this is not just limited to Hollywood. Stop with that bullshit right-wing story. It's everywhere, tragically. I saw a story the other day that some MAGA guy who worked for Trump was just arrested for it. Seems like we should kind of keep it taboo, but not so taboo that we can't go, can we figure out why this is happening and what we can fucking do with this to make it not happen? Hell, I'd, make fucking robots. Let them go fuck the robots. I think it could fuel people's fantasies to the point where they start taking it to the next step, says Dougie Jones. It could. It absolutely could. And if that data exists, then I would be absolutely going, yeah, this is bad. But I don't have that data. And I don't know if there's a study that's been done, is what I would say. Bulbo says, did you talk about Xbox pausing 5 PS game? What's there to talk about? Well, it's grown enough to get its own acronym. Well, that's just the culture. It's gross and it's growing. It's not just gross. It is murder. It is metaphorical murder of the individual's soul. It is horrible. It should not be allowed, and it's not allowed. But we need to get in front of it instead of just being like, oh, don't even say anything. No, we need to say things. We need to talk about things, especially things that scare us, that creep us out. That's how we drag them out into the sunlight. But I don't know, Bulbo, what do you want me to talk about? I don't care. Yeah, okay, it's an interesting question. You don't care that Xbox paused games on PS5? No, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. You know why? Because I'm an actual, no, I'm going to, kick the hornet, stir the hornet. What do you do with hornet's nest? I'm a gamer. I'm a real gamer. I play games. I go where I can afford to go where the games are. I don't give a fuck if it's on PlayStation 5 or Xbox. What are you, 5 years old? Gives a shit. My God. Those people need to be permanently removed from the gaming sphere that I exist in. Again, it's the IQ test thing. I want people to come to this show that love games. What do I care? What do you care? What systems is? Fuck you, idiot. Not you, Bulbo, but I'm just like, shut up. I'm not gonna play anything. What's wrong? You're not a gamer. You're not qualified to come into my stream, if that matters to you. I mean, I can't get my head around it. Here's what I can get my head around. The most popular Halloween video game costumes have been unveiled. Would you like to know what they are? Would you like to know what they are? I'll tell you. These are the most popular video game costumes analyzed. Here's how they did it. They analyzed over 120 video game characters using keywords like Halloween costume, outfit, and makeup. They then processed it to determine which characters had the highest monthly search volume with those comments. 120 characters that appear in video games. Here are your top 10. Can anybody... Now, number 10 is very surprising. Number 10 is staggeringly surprising. Tyler says, Jaffe, do you care that the wand of Gamelon is locked on the Panasonic 3DO? Yeah, I don't care. Number 10, and I was like, I looked at the date again. I'm like, is this modern? Number 10, according to this, is Arthur Morgan. 12,760 people have searched how to put together a Red Dead Redemption Arthur Morgan costume. Number 9 is Bowser. Number 8, Darth Vader. Number 7 is, thank you, KO. Number 7 is Big Bad Lara Croft. Number 6 is Pikachu. Number 5 is Luigi. Number 4 is Batman. Number 3 is Princess Peach. Yeah, Doug Bowser. That's right, Tristan. Can you guess who the number 2 and number 1 video game costume is this Halloween? Who's going to guess it? General Custard from Custer's Revenge. Nope. It's not Stella from Stellar Blade. Yoshi, nope. Abby, Alloy, nope. Barbie, Fortnite guy, no. Here it is. Number 2 is Mario, 67,000. Number 1 is Spider-Man, 87,530. Now you would say, well, Jaffe, that's just a Spider-Man search. It is, but they made sure to check Spider-Man video games, costumes, blah, blah, blah. So, and I am surprised by these results. These are very surprising results because there's not one Fortnite character in there. Arthur Morgan is number 10. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Let's do another one. I like my top 10. Listen to this. Kotaku, which shat the bed recently when they tried to tell us what the 10 or 100 or whatever best horror games are. Yeah, Deadpool. I mean, Deadpool's been in the game, so is Wolverine. That's surprising. Now, I do think if you look up Xanarch, if you do look up, let's do that actually. If you just look up in general, most popular Halloween costumes 2024, that you extract the video game aspect, then I think you're going to get something very, very different. Okay. So if we look up, this is Google's annual Fright Geist, the 25 costume ideas that are trending on Google. This is where the rubber is really going to meet the road. Fenta says kids love going as Mark Cerny. It's like not trick or treat. Okay, this is Google Trends. Fright Geist. This is interesting. I love stuff like this. Here we go. Shrunk. Okay, overall costume. Oh, we just turn off your music. Well, now I got to go back to the bottom. Don't tell me the top one at the beginning. That ruins everything. Here we go. All right. Number 25 is Godzilla. Ravno says these are all fake unless the list has slutty in the title. That's right. 25, Godzilla. 24, Soulja Boy. Why? 23, Lydia Dietz from the Beetlejuice. 22 is Peely from Fortnite, the banana. Joy from Inside Out's 21. Number 20, Shadow the Hedgehog. Number 19 is Minion, but it's not the brilliant Twisted Metal Minion. It's from Gru. Number 18 is a character from Dune. Gambit from the Wolverine is 17. 16 is Delia Dietz, which I guess is the Winona Ryder character, maybe. Or Delilah might be the daughter who Wednesday plays, and then Lydia is the Winona character. Anxiety is number 15. 14 is Wolverine. Disgust from Inside Out is 13. Anger from Inside Out is 12. 11 is a Chipotle burrito. It's true. It's true. Number 10, here we go. Top 10 costumes for Halloween. Lady Deadpool is number 10. 9 is Sabrina Carpenter. Number 8 is perplexingly Doctor Doom, given that there's no movie, and I understand that Downey's playing him, but I didn't realize that would make enough difference to move the costume needle. Apparently it did. 7 is Red from The Descendants, the Disney show. 6 is Envy from Inside Out. 5 is Pomni. I don't know who the fuck Pomni is. 4 is Dolores from Beetlejuice, who I think is the Catherine. I don't know who that is. 3 is Catnap. Ray Gun from the Olympics is number 2. Number 1 is Shrunken Head Bob from the Beetlejuice. Elon Musk, awkward jumping middle-aged man, Eddie T. Yeah, exactly. Cluebell, thank you for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate it very, very much. He says, Jaffe, you should stream on Halloween and dress up as Neil Druckmann. I appreciate that. I don't really know how I could do that, but I appreciate the super chat. And I do want to tell you, a week from today is Thursday, is Halloween, and we will be doing a Halloween stream. I don't have all of it worked out, but I did have this idea. I think I'm going to stream it over on, it'll be on this channel, but it'll be through the online web thing, not OBS, because it allows people to call in, right? Here's what I think every streamer on Halloween should do is if anyone calls into your stream live and they're in costume, I'm going to let you spin a wheel. And most of the shit on the wheel is stupid. Shit I don't have to really commit to. It's a soundbite or I'll show you something goofy. But I'm going to put a couple of good rewards on that wheel. I'll send you a bag of candy. Maybe I'll send you a copy of the design document of God of War. But you got to call and basically trick or treat on the internet. You got to be in costume. You got to call in with your camera. And you'll get to spin the wheel if you do. And who knows what you win? Who knows what you'll win? I think every streamer should do that. So we can have like an online trick or treat for streamers. I think that'd be awesome. But anyway, point is, though, I'm with you. I'm down. We're doing something on Halloween, but I don't know all the specifics just yet. Okay, but they're. Well, hey, come on now. This is their thing. Let's see. Kid costumes, dog costumes, spooky foods, mummy hot dogs, dirt cups. I saw the best Godzilla costume, which is number 5. Number 25 on TikTok the other day is excellent. But anyway, yeah, so there you go. Okay, so I think what we're going to do, let me check some of these news stories here real quick. Oh, right, this is where I got it from, trending Halloween costumes. Okay, where did that story go? 1 second. This was a pretty good costume. Come on now, Never-Ending Story. Look at this kid. Kid's probably never seen the movie. You know, this is all their parent. But look at that shit. That's pretty good. If you know, you know. If you don't know, I'm not telling you. I think I could show you that. No, I would never buy a Starship Citizen. No. I'm not buying anything on... If Star Citizen comes out, Bulbo, and it's genuinely a good game, then I'll happily give them some money. And I'll buy it, or I'll do what I have to do to play it. But I'm not a fucking moron. I don't understand these people. And again, they have every right to spend their money how they want to spend it. I support that. But good God almighty, I don't know what to tell you. That shit's crazy that they're spending out. Here it is. Here's the costume. Yeah, I'll show you this. Where did it go? Well, this isn't a costume. This is decoration. This is pretty good decoration. Friday the 13th, when Jason's been submerged in the water in the river. But look at this one. Look at this one. Come on, man. Come on, man. That's a hell of a Godzilla. I mean, I would have lost my shit seeing that as a kid. Look at that. He ain't kissing you. He's Godzilla, you fuck. Okay. Never-Ending Story is a German movie. It is. That's right. Directed by Wolfgang Petersen, actually. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, it's Toho movie quality, but better than original Toho movie quality. Look at this book. God, I know I'm off the rails now. Godzilla book, Monsters, Kids. I used to check this book out of the library in grade school. Monster series. It was a series of. Oh, here it is, right here. Godzilla Monster series. I used to check this book out every week, and then I would turn the book in, and my buddy would then check it out, and I think it's still in the library. Godzilla book monster. Let's see if I can find the picture. But it was delightful, man. It was just, and they had a whole series of these books, Godzilla series. And that was the first time I saw, if you ever can actually see in the book, that's the first time I ever actually saw, how they did Godzilla. They like showed the set and they showed the actor wading into the water and stuff. I loved these books. It's so amazing the stuff you see as a kid that really kind of just gets into your brain and sticks with you and really kind of affects, maybe they'll show it. Well, here's the creator doing it. I remember this picture. Yeah, this was, I just thought it was the coolest thing that you could be on a movie set. That's why I wanted to make movies. I was just like, this looks so cool, man. Anyway. Okay. All right, fellas. It's 12:30 about. I'm going to wrap things up here because we do have lunch with Jaffe coming up at about 1:15. That's over on the Discord. If you are a Diet Soda Soldier, the video will be up for you next week. But Cult of Calypso, God of War mods, the video will be up later today, and you can join us live when we make the video over on the Discord. In the meantime, though, thank you for hanging out with me today, talking video games and all kinds of crazy shit and some sad shit. I don't forget, Halloween stream is coming up a week from today on Thursday. If you call in with costume on and a real costume, you can't call in and go like, I have fingers on my eyes. It's a real fucking costume. That'd be great. You get to spin the wheel. You never know what you'll get. And then I'll be back tomorrow with the proper Gabbin' and Games. And I'll be playing Call of Duty this weekend, maybe even tonight. So I understand Star Citizen is real and people spend money on it. I think they're idiots. What do you want from me? I'm not going to defend it. It's dumb. It's dumb. The game may not be dumb, but they've raised close to $1 billion for this. Stupid. It's stupid. It doesn't mean if you want to kickstart Chris Roberts' vision and say, yeah, here's $50. Okay, fine. What do I get in return? But when you're spending any more than that on a game that's not finished, and I know there are some parts of it you can play that are apparently good, but yeah, no. Fuck off. That's what I would say. All right, my friends, be well, be safe out there in the big bad world. Always remember you can come here for your, hopefully daily, at least Monday through Friday, dose of gaming news, cozy comfort, Confucius sayings. I don't know. Shut up.